What is up, guys? Welcome to Diggity Video Game Podcast, episode number 300, or Jesus, 239. Good God. Oh my God. I'm going to retire. I'll quit. I'm done. See you guys. Okay. You guys have fun. Have fun with the show. See you. Bye.
Cut short.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a short stint. It was only 239 episodes. It was bound to happen at this point in time.
Yeah.
No, welcome.
He's cheering you on.
If you're Big Neil?
Very good.
That's sweet.
Big
Neil,
is,
dude. Thanks, Big Neil. Appreciate
he's
that.
Chilling. Keep going. He's
Fucking
chilling.
What is up,
line.
guys? 100% welcome. Absolutely 100% hates me. Anyways,
he probably has disdain for everybody here.
Yeah.
Including
absolutely.
me.
Absolutely.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fair.
No, guys, welcome. Thank you so much for listening or for watching the podcast. We go live every Thursday evening on YouTube and Twitch at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and our audio version of our podcast goes live every Friday morning, real early, like 5 a.m. early. So you can listen to us first thing in the morning, because what's better than that? A lot of things. Moving on to that, we've got on the show tonight, we've got the luscious Brody Fultz, as always. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good myself. And we've also got the wonderful, beautiful Evan from WASD and Beyond. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about you guys? What's up?
I'm doing pretty good. What's fascinating about this is that we're kind of all going to be working together on a bunch of stuff going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We're starting a band.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is that
Absolutely.
what it was?
Yeah, dude, it's an 80s band.
We're going to start a family band and tour the world.
Synth pop, here we come.
Dude, I'm going to play the fucking Irish flute.
Hell yeah.
What instrument are you playing?
This is perfect. Yeah. I'm playing the drums because I've never played it before. So I feel like I'd do perfect there.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. Brody?
Yeah.
I'm going to play the guitar.
Nice.
The one that you had to blow into?
You can't. I think you could blow into it, but no, this is more like a guitar, but it is a keyboard.
Okay, cool. I've got small lungs, so I'll play the one that you blow into.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's great. Perfect. Guys, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. You can also listen to the WASD and Beyond podcast, which is a PC gaming podcast, and I guess all things gaming kind of podcast as well, on YouTube as well, soon to be. I guess you're gonna upload some stuff up on there to our YouTube channel, which will change names and everything's kind of confusing right now, but it'll be all good. It'll be all figured out by whenever. Hopefully, end of this week, we'll figure a bunch of stuff out and we'll get going on this shit. So it'll be awesome.
I don't know anything about the show I'm on. That's my secret sauce.
The end of the week is here.
Yeah, dude,
we are at the end of the week.
I'm actually excited, like super excited. This is the first weekend that I can actually kind of like chill. I feel like I've been doing so much holiday bullshit the last couple of weeks, and then it just carried into January and just kept fucking going on and on and on. So I feel like this is the first weekend in a long time where I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I can just chill. I can chill at home. I can play some games. I can take care of some shit. So I'm stoked for it.
Hell yeah.
But with that, the tradition continues. Brody, what have you been playing?
Let's see. I've been playing Halo, Forza, and Ruined King. The same games I've been playing for like the last month and a half. That's really about it, though.
By the way, Evan, we can't hear Big Neil when he yells shit, so it's fine. Your mic is amazing with NVIDIA.
He's not talking. I was just looking at what he was doing.
Oh, is he fucking shit up?
Just checking.
Sweet.
We've been having some computer things going on at the house, so.
Okay, so if he throws it, we know that something bad happened.
I don't think he'd do that. I don't think he'd throw anything, but that'd be really funny. That'd be good content.
It would.
It would be.
At the very least.
Would be.
I think he just turned off my monitor. I don't know how you did that. My monitor turned off when you messed with yours. I don't know what you're doing over there. It's some sorcery.
Anyways, what have you been playing, dude?
I've been playing Battlefield 1 a lot recently.
Yeah, we've seen that. We posted some crazy shit in the Discord.
Yeah, I've been having a wonderful time. That plane clip earlier was really cool. Yeah, no, I've just been really enjoying it, and I'm trying to get it to work for Streamlabs or OBS, and it's just not wanting to listen. It's like any other game will run perfectly, but for whatever reason, Battlefield 1 on OBS will just tank performance. It'll skip or it'll buffer. It's just nothing I can do about it. So I've just been playing it on my own, but that's the game I've really been playing these past couple of days. I've just been loving it so much. So
So I gotta jump into that, because I think so. Have you given up on Battlefield 2042 or?
I just haven't played it recently, and nothing I think specific has brought me to not play it necessarily. It's just been like when I'm looking at all the games I have from Battlefield, I look at that one and I go, I do want to get a little bit more unlocks in that, but I've already unlocked all the stuff in it because there wasn't so much added. So I just was like, you know what? I have a brand new account for Battlefield 1. I have a brand new Origin account or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go through that and I can grind out whatever class I want to do. I was lucky enough to find on Battlefield 1 they have servers that are like hardcore, like the server built hardcore that DICE had made, but you can modify it further. So like there's no friendly fire, so you don't have to worry about shooting teammates, that kind of thing. So like there's like 2 servers like that, but they're always populated, like always full, probably have like 5 to 10 people in a queue waiting. Like, so it's just been, their matches are always, chaotic and awesome. Game looks great and all that kind of stuff. It's just fun. And out of my personal opinion, Battlefield 1 has some of the best reload animations for weapons. Just because
like the random ones too.
Well, the random ones, yeah. Some of them are really
Hardline,
funny,
wasn't it?
I think Hardline. I think they both do, because like Battlefield 1 just has so many wacky guns that like the reloads are pretty cool, or like some of them are funny. But one of them that I really like is it was a French rifle that there was no safety thing on it, so where you would just typically pull the bolt back and you'd start loading in bullets. You have to load 7 of them in, and then you have to load in the one that is going to be in the chamber. You have to load it in, cock the bolt, and then rebolt it again for it to actually fire when you pull the trigger. So it's just cool stuff like that, where it's just unique to see how those guns worked, and they were able to really recreate them. So yeah, I've just been really loving. I like the history aspect of it, like just seeing all the weaponry and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of been what I've been nerding out over.
I love the one from Hardline where when you reload, like every once in a while, a third hand would come from off screen.
I remember that.
Hand you the mag.
Yeah, I remember that. And like the Battlefield 1 has the smallest pistol ever made.
Yeah.
So he loads it with just his pinky or whatever. Yeah, no, that's really funny. I like those. They're pretty unique. Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Dude, I've just been ripping a little bit of Overwatch, kept playing some NHL 22. Played a tiny bit of City Skylines, but I haven't been able to like deep dive into anything for a little bit, just because of just work and like getting shit done. And then I was sick for the last like week and a bit, so I've been like trying to catch up on other shit that I should have been doing. So it's just been rough, but it's good now. I'll be able to definitely get some gaming in this weekend. Bye, Big Neil.
Big Neil.
But yeah, it's gonna be. But it's gonna
completely ignored me.
It's gonna be a fun time this weekend. I'm gonna try to jump more into Hades. I was playing that for a couple weeks.
Nick's been playing that.
Yeah, I know, dude. If you haven't played Hades, like
I have not,
so you included, but anyone who's listening out there on the audio version of the podcast, if you have not played Hades, you need to absolutely go buy it. It's like $10 on sale usually. And like you can get a good hard copy for like $10 like Best Buy or whatever. It's fucking phenomenal. Like
I'm excited.
The game is just so good, and while it's arcadey, it's not super repetitive, because I feel like the animations and everything is just so pretty in it, and the art is so pretty in it that you don't give a shit that some of the enemies are the same each time you go through. And it becomes super addicting, but like, oh man, it is such a good game. It is fantastic.
It is so addicting. It's very much that like one more run type of game.
Okay,
and then
I got you.
I think the last run I ran, I actually made it to Hades. I'm like, oh, I'm about ready to beat this, and then I got stomped. I don't want to spoil that part of it for you, Jeff, but I ended up getting my ass beat shortly after.
But
it is on Game Pass.
Nick says it's free on Game Pass. Yeah, I just saw that.
Oh wow! Then I can get it right now. Yeah,
I've been the last couple days. I've been getting the urge to play Monster Hunter again, especially now that it just came to PC. And so I was considering purchasing it on PC, but I do have it on Switch right now. The Monster Hunter Rise, and it's a lot of fun. I almost thought about getting into Monster Hunter World again too, but I'm kind of leaning more towards just sticking with Rise. Because if I get back into Monster Hunter World, I'll just play it on PlayStation probably. But that's the one that I'm like, I put the cartridge back in my Switch today, and I'm like, we'll see, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to give it a shot, but I don't know. My time might be taken up soon because God of War for PC comes out tomorrow, and I've actually been really looking forward to playing it because I never played it. I tried to play it every time on PlayStation, and I remember when the update came out for PS5, like the enhanced update or whatever. So I downloaded it or whatever. I put it on my PS5 because we had a copy. So I started it up again, and I was like, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. But now that it's on PC, which is my primary platform, I'm hoping that I'll be a little bit more interested in it because I've heard from everybody that it's just so good. So I really want to get into it. So I'm excited to get that tomorrow. I've been really excited actually. So
have you finished it yet, Jeff?
No, I have not. I need to finish that shit, dude.
It's so good.
I know. It is a fucking unbelievable game. I'm really far through it. I should probably just sit down this weekend and just try to finish the damn thing.
Yeah,
did you see the minimum PC requirements for God of War?
No, I'll look at them right now. What are they? They're bad, aren't they? Or like they're
I don't
wild.
Know. I don't know what they are. I just saw like an article like here's the minimum requirements, and I figured they must be pretty high.
Okay.
Let us know.
I got them right here.
Minimum is Windows 10 64-bit, Intel i5 25K, 4-core, 3.3 gigahertz, or AMD Ryzen 3 1200, 4-core, 3.1 gigahertz, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Graphics are NVIDIA GTX 960 and an AMD R9 290X 4 gigabyte.
That's actually not. That's not terrible, but it probably plays like absolute shit.
Recommended is pretty reasonable too. It's AMD Ryzen 5 with a GTX 1060 or AMD RX 570, which I mean my fucking PC can run that at recommended.
The most reprehensible thing about this is the 70 gigs of space. It's already hurting me.
That's pretty rough.
That is pretty nuts.
I saw Matt. He loaded up Siege yesterday, and I was like, oh, I don't have Siege downloaded. I should do that for him. And then I started downloading it, and it was like 90 gigs. And I told him today, I was like, I want you to know I downloaded 90 gigs worth of game to play with you today, so you better play it with me. And he's like, I uninstalled it. I was like, I should actually murder you. I know where you live. Like, I should come kick your ass. Like, I spent all that time, and now you've fucked me, to say the least. So, yeah. But, I'm excited to play God of War because I want to play God of War Ragnarok because one of my favorite actors is voicing Odin. So I was like, now I really want to play it just to hear him. I mean, I know you could just as easily look it up on YouTube and just listen to him, but it's like I'd rather experience it firsthand for the first time, that kind of thing. So yeah, Richard Schiff, thank you for voicing Odin.
Yeah, I'm
he's never going to hear this.
Excited.
He doesn't listen to me.
That's easily my most anticipated game. For the next year, hopefully, as long as it comes out this year. And
fun fact, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No, fun fact: Richard Schiff, who is voicing Odin, was Toby on The West Wing, and he has a cameo. And I got him to wish my dad a happy Father's Day last year.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, because he starts it with "Hey, Big Neil."
Hey, Big Neil.
My dad lost it. He cracked up, and he was just, that was actually probably the coolest thing I've ever gotten as a birthday or a Father's Day gift, or like a gift for anybody was a cameo. Now I want to do it for everybody. I want to be like, who does this person like? Get them a cameo, and it's just cool. I think it's such a unique way of doing it. But so I'm excited to.
It is a pretty cool present. It is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
He was super appreciative.
Like a fucking candle or some bullshit, or like a pair of shoes or something. Fucking a knife. It's like, thanks. It's like, no, here's fucking Gilbert Gottfried wishing you a happy birthday.
Right, yeah. That's what I'm going to do for Nick's birthday next year.
You should get the dude who sings that song you like so much.
Oh, yeah, I should. I should see if I could get him to do something.
Start off like, happy birthday, Nick. Want to wish you
Just can we get a quick rhyme of it, right? Yeah, something like that. No, yeah. Sweet. Good games all around that we've been playing.
That's hilarious. quick news before we kind of jump into like the meteor rumors and stuff like that. But Microsoft has discontinued all Xbox One consoles.
Yeah, I saw it today.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep. Which is funny because literally the day before, PlayStation was like, hey, we're shipping 1 million PS4s this year. And Xbox is like, we are not shipping Xbox One at all. Yeah. Fuck that console. We're putting it in the rear view and moving on.
Well, not only that, they can put it in the rear view, but with Game Pass and xCloud and all that shit, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, it's get rid of it and get the Series S in there. I mean, the Series S is really the same shit.
Yeah, just better.
A little bit better, yeah. Marginally better. It's great. Love it. And then, go ahead.
I was going to say, and the other Xbox news was that Stalker has been pushed back.
Yep. December 22nd, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I saw, though, a lot of people online were okay with that. Like, a lot of people were like, hey, this is whatever it needs to, to be better, which is a breath of fresh fucking air, considering the way it's gone for virtually every other delay. The last year was, pretty fucking rough for every dev, where people were.
Well, Halo did a good job, I'd say. I mean, they delayed it and it came out definitely, I'm sure, better than. I said this to Nick, where it's like I almost want to see what they had for us when they were gonna drop it versus what they had now, just to see, just to show. I mean, show the community for Halo and just the gaming community at large. Like, here's what happens when they take the time. Here's the improvements that you get. Kind of thing, just to be like this. Look at what you get versus what you could have gotten if you had been like, wait, want it for the Series X right away.
I'll put on my tinfoil hat here and be like, well, I mean, they probably put out that shitty version of Craig and everything else just so they can be like, hey, we're gonna delay this because we're not fucking ready,
dude.
We all love Craig.
A year.
I was watching, so I was on Twitter, and Wendy's, like the fast food Wendy's, decided that they would do like this roast me thing, kind of like on Reddit, right? And that subreddit. And people posted to it, fucking Xbox goes, roast us, we dare you. And they just wrote, hey, you want to co-op Halo Infinite? Oh, wait.
Oh.
Dude, they were lighting people up. They had like the weirdest shit in the world. And like they had like Velveeta post there, and they're like, you're there's better chances that there'll be a Wendy's on Mars before you become real cheese. Like, they were just lighting shit up, dude. They had Gillette posted on there, like Venus Gillette, like the women's razors, and they're like trying to figure out where the other 250 comes from. And then they posted this GIF where there's like the Gillette men's razors are the same as the Venus ones, but the Venus ones cost $2.50 more. Like, just mercilessly lighting people up. It was absolutely incrable.
That's so funny.
The Wendy's Twitter page is genius.
Yeah, it is, dude. Wendy's, I love those. Straight fucking thug. One last little piece before we get into the kind of the rumor stuff. I saw a piece that Take-Two Interactive buys the Farmville creator Zynga for $12.7 billion.
Almost double what Xbox paid for Bethesda. Actually, I think it might even be a little bit more than double.
How fucking
I don't remember.
Crazy is that?
Because they're going to be making mobile games of all their franchises. So, like, we're going to get GTA Mobile and Red Dead Mobile and Bully Mobile.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
LA Noire Mobile.
There's absolutely going to be an IP slice for mobile for, like, everything.
I just had the saddest thing of, like, I'm waiting and I'm going to get this Rockstar notification on YouTube. Like, Rockstar's uploading a new video and it's LA Noire trailer, like gameplay trailer, and it's going to be like, oh my gosh, this looks awesome. It's going to be like coming to the App Store. I feel like, no.
So the Microsoft Bethesda thing was $7.5 billion. So a little less than double, but definitely still, I mean, a $5 billion difference between the two. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, they did phenomenal though. I mean, they were a stay-at-home stock. So when COVID happened, their stock boomed, considering mobile gaming. I think we often forget how much fucking money
mobile gaming is.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. So this is a huge acquisition. And like I said, I mean, I think Evan's spot on. It's probably going to be Like, what's the quickest way to just do some quick mobile?
I thought I read that.
Or I guess inject some IP into some already standing mobile property.
I almost imagine it's going to be like, you're going to get like a Borderlands, like typical mobile game, like some sort of gotcha bullshit. Like, I think that's the route it's going to go. I don't think they're going to necessarily port everything to mobile. I think it's going to be a lot of like mobile games skinned with, Borderlands or GTA or something like that.
I would hope that if anything, I remember this would actually be kind of cool, but I mean, it'd probably be a waste of the talent of the company they bought, who made Farmville. Remember GTA came out and they made like a companion app where you could take care of Chop or whatever in the single player. Like you could do shit.
Yeah.
So like I thought I could see them doing that for GTA 6 if that ever is released. I'll probably have. I mean, I'd honestly say that they are. I can't think of a game recently that's I mean, Red Dead doesn't have a companion app or anything like that. Neither does any of the. Does Destiny have one? I could see
Destiny has one, and it's like almost a critical thing to have. There's some like third parties that work probably even better, but for inventory management and shit like that, that's the only time it comes in handy. But yeah, most of the companion apps are garbage. Like the Rockstar one was terrible.
It was awful. But I could see that. I mean, it's probably not actually like something that would be super difficult for them, where it's like, hey, we're coming out with GTA 6 in 2032. I already have like 2 kids and a wife. And like I'm going through my second divorce, and they're like, "Yeah, we're coming out with GTA 6." It's like, I've been waiting for this since like I was 13 years old. So like, pretty sweet, guys. Thanks. Like this will be exactly what I need. Forget the kids. I
just want to take my mind off my second divorce.
Yeah, right. I've been struggling ever since, but now I got GTA 6, and it's like GTA 6 is just a reskin of like GTA 4 and 5 put together. It's like, you know what, man, it's over.
Yeah,
but I could. That would be interesting. I mean. Yeah, that's kind of crazy, though. I was more upset about anything like the news that you brought up about the whole stalker thing. I was really looking forward to playing that, but I mean, delays are delays. If they got to make it, if it'll be better by December, then there we go. We're rhyming right now. We're getting it together. But like, if it's gonna be better by then, I'm totally cool with that. I just gotta wait. But I was looking forward to playing it. It's on Game Pass, so I'd just be able to download it right away. So it kind of sucks, but no big deal. I'll have God of War.
That's right.
Hopefully.
And
Hades and other games I think that are coming out. I can't think of actually a lot of games that are coming out this year.
There's quite a few
rumors.
They're kind of scattered right now because everything is gonna probably
they're not sure
back further and
a
little all over the place. But there's some big headlines coming out. So
I got so excited, and now I'm not. Assassin's Creed on February 17th, the Ezio collection, and I was like, oh, are these remastered? Yeah, they are for Nintendo Switch, which I don't have. So thanks again. I really like to have some remastered stuff on PC, but whatever. Fuck off,
I imagine
Nintendo.
the remaster is probably a little bit of a stretch. I doubt it's
probably not
remastered in any way, shape, or form, especially like if it's not going everywhere else.
Arguably, probably be more work for them to remaster it for PC than to just port it over to Switch. Probably less difficult altogether, just because there's not as much like juice going to that console. Whereas I'm sure you'd have now, right, with the stuff that people on PCs can have, you'd be like, oh yeah, like we want Assassin's Creed 2 remastered. It's like, now what? We're gonna want basically a brand new freaking game. Like what just came out that was like a complete remaster? It looked fantastic. I can't think of it. Oh yeah, GTA Trilogy Collection.
Yeah, that one.
Couldn't even say with a straight face. Couldn't even say with a straight face. I keep thinking of the hot dog fingers Jeff showed me when we did the episode on it.
Oh my god! I have it saved on my
bro,
computer. Those are so bad. They did put an update out, and they did fix a decent amount of things, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, that's making progress.
I mean, it's just I'm kind of happy about how it turned out, and that may be like cynical, but like not against the company, but against the I guess willingness of everyone to want to use AI for like fucking everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really puts a pin in that argument for sure.
Yeah, like not to say that it can't do like a good chunk of the game, but it certainly is extremely far away from doing things like,
that's what it was.
Billboards, fingers, rain physics, driving
Also,
physics, lighting.
Maybe go back and check it out too. Just not a thought.
Yeah, just maybe play through the game after you've 100% completed everything, just to be like, are there any problems? And it's like, you clearly didn't do that.
That man has brats for fingers.
Like, bro,
not right.
There's a problem.
This is like akin to like someone like, you know, making a presentation in college or high school, right? You know, opening up a couple Chrome tabs, jerking off, closing the laptop, going to school, plugging that bad boy in, and then all of a sudden it goes, ever heard of Jerkmate?
Oh, no. Want to masturbate but don't have a partner?
As soon as it goes on.
Speakers up all the way.
Yeah, absolutely,
Sweet.
dude.
Awesome.
You've signed on to xvideos.com. No!
No.
Alexa off. Alexa off. Alexa off.
But anyways, so let's move on to some rumors. Let's start with Nintendo. There's a shit ton here. I want to start with Mario Kart 9 first off.
Yeah. I'll let you rattle off a few, and then I have a decent list that's predominantly Nintendo, but there's some other shit in here too. So
I'll have everything not Nintendo. They're mostly going to be meme games, but actually I do have a couple that I would like to see announced, but that's just me.
Okay,
you guys go on, have fun.
Well, no official information has been released by Nintendo the last few days. I've seen the usual suspects whip themselves into a frenzy of speculation and wishful thinking. That said, after the banana peel gauntlet of a year that was 2021, maybe we can let ourselves dream just a little bit, or at least pass on the gossip that sounds most exciting and somewhat plausible. So, Mario Kart 9 is rumored to be coming to a Nintendo Switch in 2022. However, possibly not the Switch that you currently own.
Oh God!
We'll get into this in a second. This release period actually makes a lot of sense, as it could coincide with the rumored release of the Nintendo Switch 2. This is, by the way, this is from Happy Mag. This article.
Where?
Happy Mag, never heard of them. But as of the Nintendo Direct presentation in December 2021, Mario Kart 9 was not revealed, despite Nintendo showing off a great number of showstoppers, including Metroid Prime 4, a second trailer for their Breath of the Wild sequel. I wouldn't really call it the trailer, but okay. Mario Golf Super Rush and more. The Nintendo Switch 2 was another item that remained unrevealed, despite Nintendo eventually releasing what will surely go down as one of Nintendo's worst-kept secrets ever. With these pieces of information in mind, the generally accepted speculation is that Mario Kart 9 will eventually be unveiled as a Switch 2 launch title, much like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was for the original Switch back in 2017. So, in the recent predictions article, industry insider Serkan Toto claimed that Mario Kart 9 is in active development and comes with a new twist, and Nintendo could tease it this year. So the whole thing is just completely implied, right?
As far as the Switch 2 part of it goes, from the get-go, they've said that the Switch was going to be a 7-year console. Like that was the big conversation,
right? And add in supply issues.
I'm not a add supply issues and the fact that the Switch is still selling like crazy. I'm pretty sure they're not going to release another Switch this year. Like they're going to keep rolling with this, and I would say 2024 would be when we would see a new Switch. Probably announced next year, like 2023.
Did they say it was going to be that? So like you said, it's a 7-year console. It's probably not confirmed or anything just because it's so far out, but was it going to be like the Switch 2, or was it just going to be a different console altogether? Do you guys know it? Because I don't know.
I don't know. It's Nintendo, and they've always done something wildly different with each console release, whether the form factor of the device or like carrying out, like, I mean, if you look at Wii, right, and then you look at Wii U, it utilizes stuff from the Wii, but it brought in, the tablet craze, right? So
and then they kind of continued that with the Switch.
Brought in that, took forward that tablet craze, dropped the fadness of motion controls with the Wii because it was a fad and it kind of died out. And put more gaming focus to it while continuing that tablet thing. The next thing in my mind is that this is such a huge hitter for them, and the Wii U was such a fucking mess for them, that I feel like they continue this, and they have a decent platform now where they can basically just iPhone it. Yeah. And just do incremental upgrades over the next, console years, or do what they did, right? Where they like did the OLED screen in the past. And like, that's the thing too, right? They're unique in the market where they don't have to be in 4K. They could be 1080p and people are going to be fucking happy with that.
I agree, and I think that would be the smart thing to do, but that's exactly why I think they're gonna flip the script and do something completely different, because that's what they've historically done with each, like you were saying, with each console, they change it pretty drastically.
But the thing is,
and I think the Switch 2 would be a genius, but at the same time, like the Wii sold gangbusters. Like that thing did incredible numbers, and they typically start working on the next console shortly after that console launches. So I don't know. I don't know if they are gonna stick with the Switch. I really hope they do, because I think this is where they thrive. This is the area that they excel in.
Fuck yeah, they can focus on games, and it's a pretty simplistic piece of hardware. The only reason why I think they would stay, also, not just because of how well it's done, but if you go with how they've built out hardware based on consumer trends and upcoming trends, the only one that they could enter into a space now is VR, and I just don't fucking see that happening.
I don't see that happening at all.
So that's why I think they stick with this platform. They upgrade the guts of the fucking thing. Maybe they make it more premium, where it is a better, hard body shelled thing. It's got a premium feel to it. And if I'm them, honestly, I'm fucking doing what Sony and what Xbox have done. And again, what Apple's done with the iPhone, what Samsung's done, what Google's done with the Pixel, is fucking come out with like 3 tiers of it on launch. You got the Switch 2, Switch 2, Lite, and
Pro.
Switch 2 Pro, or whatever. Right. And that's that. And they all have incremental upgrades that
Switch 2 Lite's purely just a tablet
screen
Switch
or feel
regular.
of the device.
Switch Pro's an OLED screen with a better processor or some shit like that. Yeah, whatever.
I think I think what they should do is go the like Switch version, just regular Switch, a Switch Lite, and then do like a Switch Home, right? Like it's just
for sure. They should definitely create just a box that you stick the card
and then do the
into.
premium one later, because that's how you get people to upgrade later on down the road. I'm just being from a business perspective, like that's what makes sense to me, right?
For consoles, that definitely works, but I see where Jeff's coming from too with the phone idea, because and that's typically what people do, is they'll just opt for the that's the thing, that's a different thing, right? Especially with consoles, right? Is that like with phones you have contracts, so it's like if you have the Apple Plus contract or whatever, it's like every year you can get the best one, right? Whereas consoles, it's just you pay for whichever one you want. So like that's a good idea too, where it's like maybe you have a Switch Lite, which is just the tablet Switch, which is like Switch 2, which is just fucking regular ass Switch, and then you have a year and a half later you have a Switch Pro or Switch Ultra, or insert whatever cool name here for the premium version. I don't know,
Ultra Max Pro,
Switch Ultra Alpha Chad mode or something, whatever they want to do.
Absolutely. And so if you stick to the 7-year theory, Brody, what is that date?
It would be
2024?
March of 2024, I believe.
Okay.
So I fully believe that we could definitely see another version of Mario Kart this year. I don't think that's out of the realm.
Definitely working on that.
Yeah. And I think what they'll do is the Wii U route of, hey, this is going to come out on Wii U, and then it's also going to come out on Switch 2 or whatever. In this case, it'd be Switch and Switch 2, right?
Leader. But it's fucking fantastic.
And it will sell on both fucking consoles no matter what. I think, and of course they'll probably change the fucking card out, so you can't use the same card on the next Switch and all this shit, right? To where the games don't actually transfer, and the digital games don't actually transfer over either, because your account means nothing. But that's not. I mean, that's how you sell more copies, man. But I a little bit. But I also I don't see them waiting until the next console generation to release this. I think it'll come out this year, give it 2 years to run on the Switch, and then once, the Switch 2 or whatever, for example, comes out, that's when it will relaunch as the deluxe version or whatever it is. But, I mean, this is 5 years of having Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And
well, it's also 5 years of every fucking month somebody from Bloomberg fucking saying that, hey, we're going to have a Pro.
I don't think it's happening.
This is the problem, right? Is that, you can treat, in some fashion, so Apple does a great job of it, Samsung does a good job of it, Google's starting to do a better job of it with their phones. I'd say PlayStation, Xbox, this run around with releasing their consoles probably did the most like tech style company keynotes possible ever in like console releases. Nintendo's not gonna fucking do that. Last time they did that, they had 2 guys from Japan snap their fingers on the fucking stage.
Right.
Like that was
That's
their marketing.
hilarious.
That was the reveal. It's like, here is
And it
Switch.
works though.
And then they literally they showed off the controllers first, and their thing was, look, there's ice cubes in the controllers to show you how good the haptic feedback is. I mean,
Right.
you know, like there's just I don't know, like people expect them to like make this, you know, dramatic fucking
it's not
entrance
gonna
with
be
the
that.
Pro. If they do a Pro, they'll fucking drop it on a Wednesday afternoon and like on Twitter or whatever, and here
No
you go,
pre-orders,
buy
yeah.
the thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Right.
You can't expect these things out of this company.
If BT Dubs were dropping a new console on Friday, check it out.
Seriously,
And it's
like that's
it's a link to
literally-
it's a link to a SoundCloud,
Dude.
which the SoundCloud has another link. It's like, what is
Yeah.
this convoluted process?
They'd like sync up with like fucking like a different like they'd be like a Geico commercial and announce it before they'd actually fucking formally announce it in a tech company style way. The Geico
They'd be
gecko would be
like-
like, oh, what's that, man?
They'd be like, check the Ford Twitter at 2 p.m. on Friday.
Right? Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what?
Ford
like-
dropping the new switch on the Ford Twitter,
Yeah.
taking over
It's in
the
the back
Ford
of it.
Twitter.
It's in the back of the Lightning. It's
Oh
like,
my
what
God,
is
bro.
going
Care
on
of
here,
it.
dude? Yeah, let Wendy's take care of it. Yeah, it's on the Wendy's Twitter at Friday 3 p.m. Eastern.
It's fucking seriously.
It
like
opens.
they're
It opens with the Wendy's Twitter guy just roasting Nintendo, and then it
yeah.
hard cuts to the new console.
I said it in the Discord earlier this afternoon, but I'll keep saying it again. This is the company that sold us cardboard.
This is true.
Anything
This is
is
true.
possible
This is true.
with this company, but it is going to be revealed and it is going to be displayed to you in the most unorthodox way
That's the
possible.
new.
and
That's the new
most
console, Labo 2.
Oh my
Level
god!
2. It's made of cardboard. You have to assemble it yourself.
Hey man, if I get another Funhouse video of them getting high and building it, I'm perfectly content with them making it. I was happy enough with the first one. I did
That
not
was
care.
pretty funny.
Didn't care for Labo though, or the Switch.
Yeah.
I don't care for Nintendo whatsoever. But like, I get
can't
that
watch
funny content.
Funhouse
I'm good
now,
for.
though.
I can't watch them now. I go back to the old days, the golden days. I say I can't
Not
watch
that the new
stuff.
people are awful. I don't. Think
No, they're not.
funny.
No. There's a special bond between Bruce, James, and Adam, and all those guys,
Yeah.
and Elise and everybody. Yeah, no, I can't. But I don't know. I mean,
I still don't
I
think
don't
we're
like
getting
Nintendo.
a Pro. I don't think it's happening.
No, it's just gonna be the Switch 2. And there's rumors that the Switch.
yeah, I can
2
see that.
So the only rumors that have come out recently, and like this is a couple months ago, that speak to what it would be is basically they would do a giant 3DS.
Pretty, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
what people
I
are
don't like
basically
that.
saying. I don't like that
I
idea
don't want that.
either, but that's literally what people were saying is it would just be a giant 3DS. I think it's just going to be an upgraded Switch, and you're going to have a port machine for 2 years like you had the Switch.
Right.
Yeah. And I think like the Switch or Switch 2, not Switch Pro, I think it'll be larger in order to get a little bit more power in there. I mean, not
I hope
crazy
so.
larger, but a little bit. So, I mean, all
Yeah.
your Joy-Cons and everything are probably not going to be worth a fuck because you're going to have to get larger Joy-Cons in order to match up with the Switch and,
I think they
and
could
all
make it
this.
way more expensive, and I think people would still buy it because they could start using, like more, like look at the fucking M1 chip for
Right.
Apple and shit like
Yeah.
that. Hardly needs any cooling.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Like
Yeah,
if you can,
that's wild.
if you can make it more expensive, I think people would buy it no problem for their kid or for themselves, no
Sure.
problem. But
Meanwhile, I have a CPU cooler that's as large as my fucking graphics card in my computer right now.
God, I
yeah,
love
this
it.
whole stream,
That shit
everything
gold.
right now is being run off my M1 Mac right now, and it's just chilling here, and there's no noise,
Just hanging out.
and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually it's fucking cold because it's cold in this room.
My graphics card is more than half the length of my fucking case.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But it's cold though, which is
No,
good.
my-
We
my
like it being
M1
cold in
my
there.
M1 Mac Mini is like the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, we have
I
we were
fucking love it.
comparing graphics. We were comparing graphics cards the other day, and it's crazy how like a 3080 Ti or a 3090 is longer than a Switch. It's just
Yeah.
hilarious. It's just hilarious comparing where it's like, dude, what we compared? We have we got a 3080 and a 3090. We compared. They're actually pretty similar. I was surprised. I was expecting the 90 to be much bigger, and it wasn't. It's actually just a bit thicker. But in terms of length, they're actually pretty similar height too.
Girth?
And it was that 3090 is a thick boy, dude.
Nice,
that
dude.
is not. That wouldn't even fit. I don't. I think it would barely fit in my computer. I think it would because I have like a mid tower.
You got a pretty tight computer.
Yeah, That's not.
Cool,
it would not fit.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
You're gonna have to stretch it a bit.
That's a hog of a graphics card, bro.
The hog of a GPU. It's the Alpha Chad. Let me tell you what.
There you go. Do you have any more Nintendo stuff while we're still on the Nintendo, or do you want me to go with what I got?
There's a couple of. So obviously we talked about this. Okay, so there's the Zynga stuff ties in with this because there was a rumor back, I believe in September, that Zynga had received, which is kind of crazy amongst other devs, but had received 4K Switch dev kit units. And then Zynga recently shut that down prior to this acquisition, but it did come out back in September of it for the Pro. So that just wanted to put that point out there to end that. One of the latest rumors is just basically DLC leaks from fucking Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, Amazon, Target, all the retailers that suck updating their website. And it's all on Pokemon Legends. Could be getting DLC.
Before you get too far away from what you just said with the console thing, I don't believe they're going to have a 4K. Just because...
I don't either.
I mean, going from 720 in handheld to 4K is fucking insane, and that is a nightmare for developers. Like, nobody's going to want to do that shit.
No.
For the record.
Well, that
like,
and also supply
that,
chain, again, like, if I go to my fucking Target, Walmart, whatever, there's no Switch available.
Right.
Like, they don't need to fucking do that. People will pay ungodly amounts of money for the current shit right now.
Right.
Like,
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, like, no, I agree.
Thinking about going from 720 all the way up to 4K, and you have to develop for all of those situations.
I can't even imagine. That
no
sucks.
way.
Fuck that. I'd be as a developer, I'd be like, nah, man, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not just gonna put it on the Switch.
And people would argue like,
oh, well, mobile phone.
Right.
I mean, it runs off of a version of Android, very, 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 very diluted version of Android.
Right. Okay. And people would argue, that developers kind of do that for PC, but it's not exactly apples to apples. Like, you're making essentially four different versions. Like, the PC is more like, hey, you turn off certain shaders and shit like this. Like, it's not exactly the same thing. So,
which they end up changing that all around now anyway, because like, look at all the console games that come out, and then they come out to PC enhanced with all those things added back or whatever. It's like look at great example. Look at Rockstar, where it's like all their games are console first, and then they come to PC a year later with all this added stuff. And then half the time people are like, these ports are terrible. I remember a lot of people were bitching about the I never personally saw a problem, but maybe my eyes are just bad. But like, a lot of people didn't like the anti-aliasing in Red Dead 2 because it looked too much like a console. It wasn't crisp enough. And then they added in DLSS, which is a version of anti-aliasing, and then kind of fixed it for people if you put it on quality or whatever. But yeah, like, I could imagine as a developer where it's like, hey, I'm making this game. They're like, well, we'd like you to go from 720p to 4K. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go put it on a Series X or something. I'd rather not
this will come
deal with the
PlayStation
hassle.
And Xbox. You can fuck yourself.
Yeah, we'll go to PC in a year and a half. The Switch will not be a console that we care about putting it on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't blame them either. So, I can't imagine that's easy.
Do you want me to just quickly run down just, I guess, kind of the live-ish rumors of games, just bullet list real quick of Nintendo shit?
Well, yeah, I've got the list right here too. I don't know if we have the same list, but so HD remaster of Metroid Prime will be in the second half of 2022. It is supposed to be the 20th anniversary since the original release on GameCube.
Is going to buy time for the other shit that we discussed.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So that would be okay. I could see that happening. That one seems somewhat believable. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is delayed internally and will fall into 2023 due to virus and technical issues. Could still release in 2022, and this as the game needs to sort out technical issues. But so for the record, these are coming from Nate the Hate is where this list came from. I don't know how valid any of this is, but we're going to roll with it anyway. New Fire Emblem is coming in 2022 from the Three House devs, and it looks like a Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake will not come until 2023. A DK game is in development, Donkey Kong. Not sure if it's 2D or 3D or what it is, but supposedly there's one in development. House of the Dead is supposed to be coming in March, supposedly. Wow. We'll see.
That's cool.
Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope will come out early 2023.
Jesus.
But it could potentially make an appearance second half of 2022.
Wasn't that fucking announced at E3?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Right. Resident Evil Outrage, which is a multiplayer game, is no longer a project and was originally meant for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The Nintendo Switch Resident Evil game is Revelations 3. Not sure if it's in development due to how hard and difficult it is.
The RE part of my brain is like having an aneurysm right now because I've never heard of these titles before. You said, wait, what was the first one? Outrage?
Yeah, Outrage is supposedly a multiplayer. Yeah.
So they had RE-Verse was a multiplayer component that's supposed to come out this year, which is a combination of like the I think it looks like a combination of 2, 3, and the new one, 7 and 8. Yeah. So I wasn't sure if that's like just a different name for the same thing or what. So I like that really confused me because I've never heard of it before. And you said the other one was Revelations 3. My monitor keeps shutting off. Big Neil is doing some magical sorcery that I don't understand. About to cry.
So Persona 4 Golden will make its way to Switch and PlayStation in 2022. And then the last one is that Persona 6 is going to be announced this year, and it will be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Oh, sorry, there is one more. And it sounds like it's going to be announced later in the Persona anniversary. And the last one is Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters coming to Switch in 2022, which have been, I believe, just PC and mobile so far. So, again, absolutely grain of salt type shit. We don't know any of this is true. This is all like some hearsay bullshit at this point. But I feel like a lot of this is likely. I mean, it's very possible. It's been a long time since we've seen a Donkey Kong game. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I would imagine, would be 2023. Persona 6 coming just to PlayStation 5 is a little bit of a stretch. I feel like that could still come to PlayStation 4, especially if they've already announced they're shipping, another 1 million PS4 units this year. And with the shortages and everything else, I think it'll be both platforms. I can't see why a Persona game would have to be on PlayStation 5 and not PlayStation 4 for technical issues. I mean, they're a turn-based style game, so I can't imagine they're that intensive.
Right.
But
wow.
You got anything that I missed there, Jeff?
No,
or was that the same list?
I guess add Mario Kart to it. That's about it.
Oh, there is one other Nintendo one. One of the guys that has a really good track record with leaking stuff. The only thing that he has talked about that has not actually been announced is a Mario Odyssey 2. So, which, I mean, I could see it, but
Switch.
I would almost lean towards that. I mean, typically we only get one big
game.
3D Mario game per generation. So
yeah, no. The thing I will add too is the Mario Kart. They said that whether this is, take it with a grain of salt, is that it'll have a new mechanic in it. I don't know what the fuck they could add at this point. At this point, people are like, "What about pit stops?" And I'm like, "That sounds fucking boring. I don't want to stop a race." I mean,
this is an F1, bro.
Yeah, you can fly. You can go upside down. You have anti-gravity now.
I can throw a banana peel at somebody, but now I got to stop for gas.
I was going to say, what if they go the Diddy Kong Racing route, where you like
different tracks.
Can go from a cart and then go into a plane, go into a fucking hovercraft type shit? Something like that would actually be kind of cool, because Diddy Kong Racing does that shit
now, where your cart just fucking turns into like a little boat.
Yeah, kind of, but
your parachute comes out. I mean,
it doesn't control any different and like change it all that much though.
Well,
like,
in the air, it controls a lot different, but I mean, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, but I mean, like back for Diddy Kong, it was like you would go through a lap or a portion of a lap and then like completely change into like a plane.
Diddy Kong Racing.
I agree. Diddy Kong Racing was awesome.
That's what they need to do. They just need to remaster that.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Or just, release a new one, considering that one came out forever ago.
Yeah, that's true.
We can, try a new one.
What are the rumors you got, sir?
That's my list. Oh. That's what I got.
That's your list? Okay, cool.
That's what I have. Yep.
I've got the good old PS5 UI rumor update.
Yeah.
So if we want to kind of go to that fucking shit, do we want to touch on that?
Give me themes.
I only have like 4 things that are like potential rumors that I've just heard. Like,
go for it. Go for your shit, dude.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot. I just read. This was just now. I read about a Crystal Dynamics was hiring a lighting artist for a Tomb Raider project in 2021. However, no game obviously came out last year from them, so it looks like there might be another Tomb Raider game on the rise that would apparently. Yeah, the studio made an announcement last year that the next game will unify the reboot series with the classic games, so that there's something at least being made to a degree. That was one
bullshit.
Yeah, probably something like that. There was rumors about a new Naughty Dog IP, but there's no clue as to what it will be. It's just they're in the middle of making a new game. I mean, both of their major franchises are done now, as far as I know.
I would assume they're probably rocking a new Uncharted because of the movie.
Well, I could see that, but they ended 4 on such a good note that I feel like it would kind of be.
They'd have to
This isn't a new IP, obviously, but they are coming out with the movie. They were coming out with the Nathan Drake collection, or it's got some fancy name like that. It's just Uncharted 4 and the Lost Legacy DLC remastered for PS5. So that's coming out, but they left 4 on such a good note that I don't think that they'd want to go back and reboot it, unless it was like with Nathan Drake's daughter. That would be cool. I could see that. Yeah, that'd be sweet, but that wouldn't really be a new IP. But yeah, there was something about that where they were hiring people for like a new game or something like that. RE4 remake, because Capcom has been going through and remaking all of their past ones. They've obviously they redid 1, but they kept 1 with the tank controls and all that kind of stuff. Then 2 came out. That was a massive success because it was literally from the ground up redone, which that's what I was thinking about earlier when I talked about like them rebooting a game. I don't remember what company we were talking about, but I talked about somebody rebooting a game, and I was like, if they made it in a good quality. I made the joke about it being the GTA trilogy thing, but I was just trying to think of like RE2. I couldn't think about it.
Yeah.
But then they did RE3, and there have been rumors that they were remaking RE4 completely the way they've done 2 and 3. They did do that VR thing with Oculus, but they're supposed to be just a brand new from the ground up kind of thing again, where we just go through the whole game. It's completely redone, looks great, all that kind of stuff. So that would be sweet.
Yeah.
And then the last one I had was that sometime this year, I think we were supposed to get the multiplayer component for The Last of Us 2, and I said to Brody, I think I told you last week or whatever, a potential remaster for the PS5 with the new engine. So that's all I've got. But I'm out of all these, I'm actually probably the most excited for the RE4 remake, because RE4 was like the first. That was like the first real game I think I remember playing as a kid. I played it on a GameCube, so I'd love to go back and play through that again. And then Tomb Raider, I don't really care for. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, I've tried to get into them.
That game came out as just like a.
The first one was good. The reboot,
yeah, but it came out as was like really good. Like a hey, look how much look at graphically what we can do. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think a lot of its shine.
Looking games.
Yeah, I think a lot of its shine was like, here's us maxing this thing out.
Yeah, right? Taking the Xbox to the whole new level. New Naughty Dog IP. I mean, I could be interested in that, but I'd like to hear more about it. And then for that whole Last of Us stuff, I think I'd be more interested in the multiplayer component than a remaster. I've played through the first game so many times that it really doesn't matter to me how pretty it looks.
You'll still fucking play it.
Oh, I'll still
the remaster. When we were talking last week, like I was definitely blowing you shit, but
I was
also,
crying inside. Like, I was actually in my bed crying. It was like 11:30.
It's crazy to me that
in the morning,
like this game is not that old, and it's been remastered once already, and to get remastered again, that just it's like 3 versions within 10 years.
Hey,
it's just kind of crazy, right?
people.
I'd have to
it.
see it.
Oh, I know people love it, but it just seems like so
it's
much.
Crazy. It's some crazy fans.
So here's my thing about it though, is that they wanted to remaster it with new gameplay from the second game.
Yeah.
But when I was reading about the second game before it came out, the reason why you could do different stuff in the second game was because you're playing as Ellie, who is way younger than Joel. So like, yeah, she obviously runs faster. She can crawl around and all that kind of stuff. Like she can go prone or whatever. So I feel like if they were to remake it in the new engine and be like, yeah, now Joel can crawl now and he's this and I'd be like that kind of completely takes away from like the I wouldn't say magic, but it would take away from the fun gameplay difference of the second game, is that Ellie has all this cool stuff she can do. She's faster with everything. So it would just kind of be weird to see that. The multiplayer component I'm most excited for, because I remember playing it had a specific name. The first game had a specific name for the multiplayer, but it was fun. I liked the combat style, and it was all kind of like Search and Destroy and COD or whatever. It was always a one life kind of thing. Mm-hmm. For like the best game mode was always a one life thing, and it was 4 rounds, and you just had to whittle the other team down. So you were setting up traps, you were being sneaky, all that kind of stuff. So I'd love to see that with the second game and all its pretty graphics and all that kind of stuff. That'd be cool. But and you have a perfect setup for that with it being like you could do just the wolves and the scars. Doesn't even have to be anybody attached to the story. You could literally just, that'd be pretty easy to do. So.
And it'd be really easy.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's exciting, but RE4 is probably my highest anticipated thing for even just an announcement. I'd love to see a trailer of Leon Kennedy being all grown up, big boy. Yeah. No, just me, we're going to leave it on that. That's awkward.
No. I've got one more thing to leave on.
I just really like that whole like list is just not my realm of games that I really get into. Get that.
Yeah,
I know it's your realm, so I didn't want to shit on it, but it doesn't even make my balls tingle at all. So
I can do that. We don't need the games for that.
Doesn't make my balls tingle at all, so I'm out.
I'm out, man.
Jedi Fallen Order 2, apparently.
Ooh,
yeah, that's
a rumor. Yeah, I just saw that.
Here's
now
my question on that: do you think that becomes?
I don't even think that's a rumor at this point. I thought I remember Respawn like confirming it.
Do you think that's an exclusive to Xbox?
No.
No.
EA kind of starting to play that game, but I don't think they.
I only bring it up only because of EA Play.
Oh yeah.
And that exclusivity to it. At least, I mean, I think definitely launch exclusivity. But
I don't know if it will be. I think EA is big enough of a company on their own that they aren't really going to play that game. I think they are more than willing to join up with Xbox for the Game Pass stuff, but I don't think on launch or anything it's going to come to Game Pass or I also don't think it's going to be exclusive either. Like I think it'll come everywhere.
I think that's
a big enough title. Like that'd be leaving so much money on the table.
I was gonna say I think that they're not gonna do that because every time they've tried to do something drastic with the Star Wars thing, Battlefront 2, it doesn't really work out in their favor, and they just kind of get shit on by the community. Again, you guys I think still have the most disliked Reddit post of all time, EA. So good going on that. You did a great job.
Yeah.
The community manager trying to explain why they made things cost money, and it was 10,000 downvotes in like the first 3 hours or some shit like that. It was just rapid.
Bless that person.
Crazy.
Rapid response. Props to that guy. He's in a basement somewhere. He's never seen again. But he tried his best.
No, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's the janitor at Zynga now. With no stock options. Moving on to the last rumor. It's crazy this whole week. Just crazy amount of rumors.
So many rumors.
A new patents have been filed for PS5 UI upgrades. However, the patents are also so generally filed that it could also be for the successor of the PS5. Highly doubtful, though. I think we'll have a UI update. I think they need to do it, but we'll get into that. So the new UI upgrade will allow gamers to open their tabs even while playing their favorite games. They'll be able to do this via the so-called action cards feature, which is referred to by others as switcher technology, which is used in Smart Switch and kind of shit like that between and Smart Play on Xbox. So the window can be, this is exactly from the patent, but the window can be pinned to the the GUI, graphical user interface, and user control can automatically switch to another application, explains Sony. So they're trying to get, smart play in there, which I think is good. I mean, that's needed. However, like I don't have an Xbox, so is that of fucking value? Is that actually of fucking value? Because right now, like, I can turn my PS5 on and jump right back into the second period of the NHL game I was playing, and I'm content with that. Like, is there actually, Brody, like, value in being like, hey, I shut it off and I can go back and be right in the middle of the campaign for Halo?
It depends. So what I've found with like online games, it does not work very well. Some of the online games, it will kick you from the server basically. But yeah, games like if you're playing the campaign for Halo and you switch over and like now you want to play fucking Gang Beast or whatever, like yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it is a neat feature. It saves some time, not like a ton of time, right? But it does save a little bit of time, and it is just kind of one of those things that's nice to switch back and forth without really ever having to think about it.
Right.
But like Forza, I have to close out when I'm done with it because the online freaks out, but that's also a lot on Playground Games because their online's kind of in a shitstorm right now anyway.
It's always wonky. Yeah.
And then Halo also does not like to be left on in that quick resume or whatever. So it has benefits depending on what you're playing, but not necessarily like the biggest thing. And then if you go to download something, you have to pretty much close all of those games or you will get slowdowns on your download.
The tweet too for this comes from Roberto Serrano as well, but he says a new beta version of the PS5 system software is expected to come out at the beginning of this year as an alternative to the previous Sony PlayStation year-end plan to test some new features before the official release. We'll be able to check it out in the coming weeks. So Sony PlayStation is considering to deliver a new beta version later this year to check features aimed to improve the UI UX experience and video performance. So VRR, video variable refresh rate. Apparently that's actually going to be a firmware update within the next couple of days, is the rumor. Yep. That's just going to come in, which is fantastic. 1440p, a social feed. I don't really give a shit about that. Like, I don't care.
No.
As long as the social feed is like, Brody just played blah, 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 blah. Like, that's fine. I just don't want it to be so fucking intrusive. Dynamic background, that'd be great. And the biggest one of all, themes, which we've bitched about numerous times. We'd love
themes and dynamic backgrounds. I want it.
Yeah.
So
that's all I need.
He says that the new PS5 system software update will be available by end of January 2022 and could include a new version of automatic HDR tone mapping feature to show the best picture automatically on Sony Bravia XR TVs and compatible TVs, which basically it just makes it so that your fucking bloom isn't crazy on the TV,
right?
Essentially, because he gives an example of it off and on within the screenshot. But yeah, I mean, basically, they want to bring features that it sounds like they wanted to bring originally, but it sounds like they fucking launched the thing quicker than they wanted to.
Yeah, I agree. I think they were probably originally supposed to be there, but didn't happen, and now that they are getting these kind of wrapped up, I think they're ready to get them out there and go from there. Cool, man. I'm happy. I'm glad to see more stuff coming to PS5 and see them, constantly working on that UI, because that UI is still not my favorite UI I've ever worked with.
I just never discover it. I just fucking go and play a game.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't really
none of it ever wants me to like peruse around it. It's just it's fucking and it's not like it's a maze. It's just so blah, and like I just feel like I'm looking at the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That I don't want to touch it. But
I mean,
also what?
You said I'm looking at the same thing over and over again, and I was like, I know how you feel every time I load up my computer. I see Brody's face looking back at me because he's still my background.
Oh shit!
You're still your background
with him with the mustache. Yeah, I'm like, oh, look at this, Brody.
That's fucking hilarious.
My monitors never go to sleep either. So my dad walks in at 7:30 in the morning, and he just sees Brody going. looking at him.
Who's that guy that's not allowed within like 100 yards of a fucking school? Because that mustache was not doing me any favors.
He's like, he's like, these are my son's friends. Look at what I've failed.
Yeah, exactly.
I have not.
Sorry to disappoint you, Big Neil.
Yeah, sorry.
Big Neil.
Not really. Not really though.
One thing though that's interesting to me is like having this smart play or whatever the fuck you want to call it, comparative to Xbox. Like that's great. Like I think the big gamers really like that, but I don't think fucking the general public even fucking understands what that is.
Probably not.
Like, this is just going to lead to
Gamers.
some fanboyism bullshit where all the Sony fanboys are then like, oh my God, we've got it now. It's a complete tie, or we're way ahead now with, you know, blah, 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 blah. But it's just like...
It's brutal.
It is fucking brutal. But at the same time, it's like, no, the general public doesn't give a fuck about that. They don't even know that's a feature, bro. I mean, people... Try to explain a fucking Xbox to somebody is just mind-boggling. And the only person who's at fault is Microsoft.
The other thing about the quick resume that kind of sucks is it keeps some games still track playtime when it is suspended. So it's really hard to actually keep track of how long you've played in some things, which is goofy. But the Switch will do the same thing. Like Ruin King says I have like 400 something hours in it, and I don't, not even close.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, it's a weird little screwy like statistic thing that kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. But yeah, the Xbox is very fucking confusing. I actually know a guy who purchased an Xbox One X thinking he bought the new Xbox, and his kid was not very happy about it.
Oh, poor kid! I mean, you're not a Giga Chad anymore, Sonny.
That's right.
Damn,
you thought you were
bro.
gonna be a Giga Chad,
and they just discontinued them.
Yeah.
Good job.
Like,
so, I mean,
he was planning on playing Overwatch with his new Series X.
That's not a gamer dad move. That's a fucking bad rad dad Chad move right there, dude. That's not good.
I'm very appreciative that my father knew the consoles better than I did. So like, he was. I mean, he's always been that. He's been a gamer since before I was around.
That guy.
He's been gaming. He's been like he would do LAN parties like when you first could do them, doing them like Quake 2 multiplayer or whatever. Like he would get all of his friends to bring their computers over. They'd set it up in his parents' basement or whatever, and they'd play games. So like that's like he's known how to do this shit.
Big gamer.
Oh, he's like what is it? He's not an alpha gamer. I wouldn't say that, but he's like the all father, like the all father, but a gamer one.
Yeah. That's kind of the beauty of like the PlayStation stuff though. I mean, like, yeah, it's boring to get the PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2, but at least people know what the fuck it is, right?
Sure, yeah.
It is.
I'm excited for the
they know it's new and that's the newest one.
Right. But also graphics cards with their naming conventions can fuck right off. That shit is confusing as hell.
People at my work were talking about that. Yeah, like one of the guys I work with was like, "Yeah, so wait, what's a 1080 or like a 1070?" I was like, "That's 2 generations behind. We're in the 30s now." He's like, "Okay, so he's like, is a 1070 better than a 2070?" I'm like, "No, it's worse." He's like, "So what is it better than?" I'm like, "A 970." I was like, "We're gonna run out of numbers eventually."
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And like, there's websites dedicated to comparing graphics cards. So like. I was looking up some shit on mine the other day because they put out like a 1080 Ti. It's like, well, I'm not in the GTX realm. I have our AMD, so it's like you gotta like compare everything. It's a fucking nightmare.
Well, if you were to compare it, right, like for me, my first graphics card was a NVIDIA GeForce 9800 GT. So you would assume by the name, like the number, that it's better than a 30,
and the GT.
But it's not. Yeah, and the GT, but like it's not. You have you go from GTs to GTXs to RTXs to Supers, TIs, Xs, Titans. Like all this stuff, and then that's just NVIDIA, right? And then you add on to like AMD where it's like 6800 XT. Well, it's like, well, what about a 290X or an FX80? It's just you guys just putting shit together and calling it stuff.
And like the early,
they're just drawn out of a hat.
The AMD ones early on were like
it's like the bingo ball. just spinning around. They just pick one.
Powerball.
Yeah, the Powerball. Yeah, they're just like, well, let's
and
see
your
what we get
bonus
this
number
time, boys.
is GT.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's what I wanted.
Right. Yeah, it's wild. The graphics card space is a very interesting place and very expensive place right now too.
Cool. Yeah.
To wrap this episode up, Brody, do you want to read a question?
No, let's save it for another time.
Okay. All right.
If you were going to ask about the question, we'll get the question later because I imagine it'll be another half hour, and we're over an hour right now. So
that's true.
Well, we'll get it next time.
Okay.
He didn't ask it this week anyway. It's been a couple weeks.
Okay.
Sorry, Ed. We'll get your question. I promise. We have not forgotten. It is sitting in the notes of episode topics.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
All right. A lot. Yeah, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. Like I said at the start of the show, you can watch us live every Thursday evening, 9:30 Eastern time on YouTube and Twitch, and you can get the audio version of the podcast every single Friday morning at the butt crack of dawn. Thanks to the beautiful scheduling of Anchor. Thank you very much, Anchor, because it's like the one thing that you do reliably. But we love you, anyways. Thank you. Beyond that, we'll talk next week more about how we're kind of joining forces with WASD and beyond. Not necessarily on like podcast changing. Nothing will change podcast wise. Those will both be independent podcasts, but we're gonna make some content together on the YouTubes and stuff like that. It's gonna be pretty dope.
Cool gamer.
I know everybody's
it's gonna get silly.
Yeah, I know they never would have expected this pairing. I bet.
Absolutely not.
Like the we're the Dollar Bin Justice League.
Yeah, we are Dollar Bin Justice League.
Probably closer to like Sinister Six. Let's be honest.
We're more bad on the other side.
If we had like the dollar store version of Justice League, it would be called like Justice Force, or like we'd be called like Legal League or something fucking stupid like that. Justification League.
Hero Force.
But yeah, anyways, you can, like I said, you can follow us on every single podcast platform. Leave us a review. It helps us out a ton. Do you want to plug WASD, buddy?
Yeah, you can find WASD on, I think it's WASD Podcast, I think, on Instagram. I know it's Beyond WASD. I don't know our shit. I'm bad at it.
Yeah.
It's all bad. I'm not good at anything. You can find WSD and Beyond Podcast at Beyond WSD on Twitter. I don't believe we have a Facebook. We do not have an OnlyFans or a Patreon. I've been trying to get Nick to start those up. He has not listened. Very disappointed.
At least the OnlyFans.
At least, and he just refuses to listen. If you want to tweet at me or talk to me about games on anything, you can follow my Twitch, EV0N1, I think is right. I don't even know my own shit.
Yes.
And if you want to talk to me on Twitter, my Twitter, I just got it. Brand new to this terrible app.
You have a new Twitter?
Yeah, I'm brand new to this terrible app.
This is great.
You follow me already.
But you just said it was new.
Oh no, I meant like the one you follow.
Weeks old.
Yeah, that's sorry. I meant the one you follow. Yeah,
okay,
no, that's
cool. I think you meant like you made a new one.
New.
Like, bro, I want to follow you.
No. Yeah, no, sorry.
Welcome to hell, Evan. I mean,
I'm already.
quite
no, bro. I don't.
I figured.
No, I don't follow you. Evan _
you
WASD.
Oh, you don't? I thought you did.
I'll follow you.
I thought you did me all sorts of shit because you followed him and I didn't follow him.
Who followed
I'm
you?
following you. Page. Oh yeah, no, you just followed me back. I don't know anything that happens here. EV0N _ WSD. That's my Twitter.
Who tweets? I have a Twitter. What do I do now?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I was like, what am I supposed to do here? It's like nothing's fun about this.
I had to explain character limits to him the other day too.
I'm old. I'm 22 years old. I do not know how Twitter works.
That's all right.
That's great.
That's all right, bro. I don't know how fucking TikTok works or how fucking Snapchat
Neither do
works.
I mostly use Snapchat, but I use Snapchat to talk to specific people. It's not like a social media thing for me. I don't post anything like maybe.
The thoughts are people
your
from
business?
from the CCP.
Oh no, I don't talk to them. I don't talk to them. Sorry.
CCP
thoughts. I don't communicate with that. No. But yeah, if you want to tweet at me about games or bitch at me about my Last of Us obsession or my obsession with Overwatch or Battlefield or anything unhealthy that I typically enjoy, John Mayer. Anything like that. You want to bitch at me about that stuff? Yeah, you can tweet right at me, and we can have a good chuckle on the internet. but it'll look toxic to everybody else that looks at it. But we'll know we're having a good conversation.
That's
you and I,
right.
Whoever that is. Matters. So, yeah, exactly. We're enjoying ourselves. Everybody else can screw off. But yeah, you can find our podcast somewhere. I don't know. We have it somewhere on the internet. It's not really my gig. I'm a podcaster by night. I show up occasionally. Yeah.
That's dope, dude. You nailed it. Don't worry about it. You nailed it. Until next time, guys.
TV, here I come.
Until next time, guys, you can catch us next week and stay tuned for